I would definitely say having clients go from feeling totally confused and overwhelmed and stuck and typically, a little depressed too, just, not feeling good about the direction that they're heading in, to then after working with me, really feeling optimistic and excited and energized, and they have a clear vision and a goal to go after. And I would say that that's what really fills up my cup. And again, just kind of making an impact on their life trajectory.
Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful career coaches on how they built their success and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Davis Nguyen, and I'm the founder of Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to $100,000 years, $100,000 months, and even $100,000 weeks. Before Purple Circle, I've grown several 7- and 8-figure career coaching businesses myself, and have been a consultant at 2 career coaching businesses that are doing over $100 million each. Whether you're an established coach or building your practice for the first time, you'll discover the secrets to elevating your coaching business.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Career Coaching Secrets. I'm your host Regine, and today we're joined by Meaghan McNamee, a career clarity coach who's on a mission to help students and recent graduates discover the career paths that truly align with who they are. With nearly a decade of experience through her company Clear Directions, Meagan blends counseling, career development, and market insight to guide young adults from confusion to confidence. Whether it's choosing a major, landing their first internship, or making a purposeful pivot after graduation, Meagan helps her clients gain clarity and the clarity they need and make the smart, aligned decisions that I'm going to repeat my last sentence for the editor. Meagan helps her clients gain the clarity they need to make smart, aligned career decisions. And it's a pleasure for me to have her on the podcast today. Welcome to the show, Meagan.
Thank you so much, Regine. Good to be here.
It's a pleasure for us. So, Meagan, I'm curious to know how did this all got started? What inspired you to become a coach and then start your own coaching business?
I would say it started as long back as I was a child. I just knew for as long as I can remember, I wanted to help people for a living. I've also been fascinated by human behavior and psychology ever since I was introduced to it in high school. So I studied psychology in my undergrad, and then I went into graduate school to earn my master's degree in counseling. And once I graduated, I became a guidance counselor. And I loved the aspects of the job that encouraged the kids, inspired them, helped them see their potential, and also help them connect with, what they were doing in their current life with their future. And I worked in a high school. I always loved that age group of kids. They were old enough to have a mature conversation, but young enough where you can still really shape and mold their minds and make an impact on them. So I didn't love the whole bureaucracy that comes with working in a school. So I left and then became an independent college counselor where I was helping kids kind of through the whole college application process. And one of my jobs as a college counselor was helping them figure out what are the best majors for their interests and their goals. And it kind of brought me back to that human behavior, the personality assessments, and just really uncovering who they are beyond their parents' expectations, beyond society's expectations of what they should be or what they should study. And it kind of evolved. It started helping college kids who were then undecided in their major, or those that thought they wanted to study business. Parents, every parent thinks that that's the smartest decision, is just to go and study business, when many kids are not destined to be in business. So kids that are just kind of realizing that what they're studying is not a good fit. And I just like helping them gain that clarity in the direction that they're going in their life and what majors really align with who they are. And again, it evolved. Now I help 20 somethings after college. So I would say, it really all comes down to being able to inspire them, awaken them to what's out there, and really see them for who they are and what career paths are going to be the most aligned with them.
It's really interesting to hear from you because I live in Europe and it's a different culture here. So generally, as a young adult, or like let's say from high school, college, you're thinking about either tech industry or healthcare industry, generally we don't focus that much on business. So it's interesting that you're saying that mostly in US is the parents want business.
That is very interesting. I didn't know that. And we'll touch on this, I'm sure, later, but the whole AI is definitely changing this landscape. And I think more of the hands-on professions are going to be coming back. So I do probably see a shift in terms of healthcare. Everyone, no matter what, we're all going to need healthcare. I don't think that's going away. So it'll be interesting.
For sure. And so right now you're working only at the moment you're focusing mostly on college, or you're still working with high school students?
So I still do the college counseling aspect. It's a good funnel for me into the career once they graduate or if they're in college. But for the most part, I do work with college aged and the 20 somethings, those that are, feeling stuck and they're feeling lost and they just don't know what career path would make them happy. Or I usually see, on the other end of that is people that have too many ideas and they just don't really know where to focus. They can, see themselves opening a coffee shop or working on a cruise ship, or there's so many things in between. And I love multi-passionate kids and adults. I can definitely relate to that, but it's also extremely overwhelming because you don't know where to focus. And so typically you don't focus on anything and you just kind of stay stuck. So
which would you say, which part of the coaching journey would you say you find the most rewarding since you started doing this, helping these kids? Well, not kids, but
yeah, I would definitely say having clients go from feeling totally confused and overwhelmed and stuck and typically, a little depressed too, just, not feeling good about the direction that they're heading in. To then, after working with me, really feeling optimistic and excited and energized, and they have a clear vision and a goal to go after. And I would say that that's what really fills up my cup. And again, just kind of making an impact on their life trajectory and seeing that transformation.
so do you have like certain programs that someone would go through? So thinking of this, if like a college student would be listening to this podcast and they just want to learn how this works, how this process works.
I do on my website. I do have the steps, the multi-phase steps that are involved in the what I call the career clarity package, and it is a multi-step. There's a lot that's done even before we even meet for the first time, so that I can go into the first session, which I call the deep dive, with already a great awareness of the tasks that would light them up, that they wouldn't get bored doing, the types of personality traits. And, like I said, I love the personality assessments. I use kind of a multi system of different tests. And yes, and then we'll go into the deep dive. I've developed a really great exercise that I call the career compass. And that's just from my years of studying what career satisfaction and how someone is fulfilled in their job. And we use that to really build out a visual of all of the components that really need to be met in order to feel fulfilled and satisfied in your job. So we'll build that out and kind of go from there.
And like you mentioned before, it doesn't have to be like a career or a job. It could also be starting their own small business or like local business, whatever it is. You can help them get there.
Yeah. Keep going. Sorry.
And I was just going to say that the website is cleardirection4u.com.
Yes.
Also link that to the description.
Great. Absolutely.
Amazing. So I wanted to know, like right now, apart from the website that we did mention, where do people mostly find you, or how do you find people in terms of like marketing channel? What's working best for you? This would be like a question that mostly other coaches would be interested in, as opposed to like college students.
I would say diversify as best as possible. So again, many of my first clients were those kids that I helped in high school who were then in their 20s. And so I just made sure when I started this that I reached out to every single parent that I knew to let them know of my new services. And that was kind of able to help with word of mouth referrals in that component. I also run Facebook ads, Google ads, and on and off when I'm having a slower month. If I'm having a busy month, I just kind of tune them down. I also use like the local Facebook pages, the local moms page, usually a couple times a year. In January, you're starting a new year, new career, new you. And then also in June, when there's graduations and whatnot. But really, I just make sure that I tell people what I do as much as possible when I'm communicating to anybody. And I have started to do more workshops in through community colleges. I've done things at the local library. It's just you try all the avenues and see what works for you. So I always ask, where did you hear about me? And it's one of all of those, so they all work. It just hits different markets, different
Mhm.
populations. Yeah.
So yeah, you're targeting not just sometimes like the person you work with, like the student, but you're also targeting their parents. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tricky, especially in terms of the pricing too. It's, do you the 21-year-old are they paying? Do they have the funds to pay, or is it their parents paying? It's typically the parents. So I did have to kind of figure that out because originally I was targeting just the kids, but then I realized for the most part the parents are still paying for these services for their kids, even 25-year-olds, 26-year-olds sometimes. So I did have to shift, and kids that I work with aren't really on Facebook. So the Facebook ads are targeted towards the parents. If it's on Instagram, it's targeted towards the kids. So it's, yeah, definitely both.
Interesting. So what would you say, there's many channels that you mentioned. What would you say is the one that mostly works well for you? Like the one that shows up more often?
Social media, I have a love-hate relationship with. I personally don't like it. I don't typically like going on it or interacting with it. But I know that it's such a necessity for a business. So when I am really focused on it and I'm posting a lot, it's such a direct impact. I really see a pickup in engagement and inquiries and it's just a matter of being consistent with it. So when I'm consistent with it, I would say Instagram is a really great one. And then I don't know, honestly, word of mouth referrals are and they're free. And so if in the beginning way more than I probably should have. If I broke down the hourly amount, it was probably peanuts, but I wanted to make sure that I was going way above and beyond and impressing every single client as best to my ability so that they would go and tell, one, two, three other people. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. Word of mouth is also like a result that you get directly from your clients that you work with, that you've done a really good job, that they are willing to do that for you. So, and that the program works very well. So that's great.
It's definitely less like selling on my part. They've already heard the good things. So I have a more, I do like a consultation, about 20 minutes just to make sure the vibe is good and any questions and kind of go over the process. And for those people that have already heard good things, it's definitely more of a just conversation. It's way less selling, which I hate to do. So yeah, that's my favorite.
Are you working towards something new, like a goal with your coaching business right now? Is there something coming up?
Yeah. So, like I said, I had to do workshops at our local community college. And I really love that because I'm really able to impact and inspire so many kids at one time. And that's really why I got into this, like I said in the beginning. So, I do kind of love that group work and I would love to increase that. I would also love to do more speeches at colleges just about how to align their career with who they are, what makes a fulfilling career, how AI is changing the landscape. And I think we're going to be going back to more purposeful work. And I think that that's what sets me apart. I'm like a job placement type of coach, just, this is a career. It's definitely the purposeful career that I'm looking for, something that's going to fill their cup up at the end of the day. And, the career path that they're meant to be on. I believe that we're all born with a very unique combination of interests and talents, natural talents, what I call superpowers, our motivations to work, and our values. And I think when we can really uncover what those are and acknowledge them and block out the noise from the outside world and friends and family and society, we can really live a life that's aligned with who we are and a career path that, like I said, like we're meant to be on.
How do you go about like connecting with these schools in order to run these workshops? How does that partnership work for anyone that is in a similar industry?
Yeah, a lot of trial and error. I've shot out so many emails, so it's casting a wide net. But usually, the program manager at a college the that's looking for people to come in and workshops or do presentations or speeches. So it's yeah, I would say the program manager, or you can get even more of a niche if you're just working for just the senior class or if it's Greek life, or there's usually a manager that you can find through the website and introduce yourself. If you have other, presentations or workshops that you've done in the past, you have a little one sheeter that I give just to kind of show that I've done this before and offer for free and just to start out. Again, if you're a coach just in it for the money, I don't know. Let's take that out because I'm not. Yeah, I would say you should want to be doing this to make an impact, and the money will then come after you've put in that work. So doing things for free in the beginning just to get you're not there, your reputation, I
Mhm.
think goes a long way.
Yeah, and get people to like truly know the value of what you're doing. Yeah, that's where that comes in. When it comes to investments, that is also like kind of an investment, by the way. Have there been any investments that you've done in your coaching business so far that you feel have made a positive impact in the coaching business growing, either financially or like just more people getting to know about you? Is there any investment like either coaching programs, masterminds, communities? You did mention a community of women initially, but I don't know if that was an investment. But yeah, just wanted to know in terms of investments, what were some good ones?
So not so much masterminds. Like I said, local community. I think start small, start local before you expand to nationwide. I would say come back to me in like 2 months because I have just decided that I think it is worth investing in hiring extra help for the things that you either don't know how to do or you don't want to do. And for me, that's social media. It's marketing, newsletters. I don't like any of it. I like counseling and coaching and helping people. Everything else is so secondary to me, and it provide a roadblock for me sometimes. I just don't have the motivation to do the things that I know are necessary. So I think investing in your business is very smart and I'm not saying like you need to hire full time. I'm hiring someone that's in college, they're home for the summer, they're in social media marketing, that's what they're studying. And I'm paying like a consulting fee, a small amount per week. And we'll see how it goes from there. But I'm excited to put that money in I think hopefully we'll get the return back on that.
Interesting. Yeah, definitely. Investing in a team is a very good strategic move. Obviously, part of growth, you cannot always do everything by yourself. Otherwise, you're very limited in how many hours you have per day. So, yeah,
Definitely. Yeah.
what would you say, apart from like hiring this person, what would you say is like the next biggest challenge you're trying to solve for in your coaching business? Right now? What is the bottleneck right now for you that you're trying to solve?
I would say overall is AI. I think that there are so many jobs that I would have recommended a couple years ago that would have been a perfect entry level position, like copywriter or a paralegal, even a market research analyst, a computer programmer, which is bonkers because 5 years ago that was the it career, and now they have the highest unemployment rate. So there's these entry level positions that I don't even feel right presenting to my clients because I know that I would be setting them up for just a really tough road ahead. So it's really just trying to stay on top of where AI is going, understanding that new careers maybe forming that we don't know about yet. And also just understanding how education and college and job training are rapidly shifting. And so another thing that I am focusing is kind of going back to where I started and back to the high school population, because I think a lot of parents are really questioning the financial commitment of college right now when kids are graduating and they don't have these entry level jobs, and unemployment is so high. So there's just, again, so many different training opportunities and certificate programs and boot camps and things that maybe you don't need to go to college. So I hate trying to figure out a 17-year-old's, complete road ahead, but at least having a better idea than the majority of kids out there have at this point. And they just say, well, I'm just going to go to college and I'll figure it out then. But having, putting more time and thought into the paths that are aligned with them before putting that money and time into college.
It's also a pretty big investment, especially in US when it comes to the college. So do you think that there's also like new jobs that are coming up with AI, like such as like prompt engineering or any other type of entry job that utilizes AI in a way?
So,
Because AI
what
is
what was
going
your example? What did you ask?
prompt engineering, like just knowing what questions to, like if you are using ChatGPT, for example, there's certain prompts that you could do it better or you can do it in a better way. There's people that are right now specializing in that.
Definitely. And anyone that's in or studying computer engineering or programming or computer science or any of those, you have to bring in an AI component or you're going to just be completely phased out. So yes, AI prompting is definitely going to continue to rise. So anybody that's, like I said, working in computers, to have those. And there's those certificate programs. Those are, you don't have to go and major for 4 years for AI. There's tons of programs out there through reputable companies that at least you can put on your resume that you have education or experience in. A lot of them, no, I know what else is going to be out there. I read as much articles as I can, but it's just shifting so fast that yeah.
Yeah, most people are going to have to incorporate AI, especially when it comes to like software developers. Like me myself, before I went into marketing, I studied computer science, completely different uh, industry. I was a web developer initially, and now I still have friends in that industry. And as you were explaining that, like using AI, otherwise would be left behind. I was thinking of like a joke that a friend just sent me a couple of days ago. It was like, oh, there's a guy. It was just coding. It was writing code, software developing. No AI, no nothing, like a psycho. So now, if you're not using it, you're also considered like weird. Why are you not using it?
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. It's silly. It's not a smart, you have to incorporate it now. So,
Cool. This has been lovely. Is there any final advice you'd like to give to other coaches, either career coaches or other coaches who are trying, like an advice for those coaches who are trying to scale their impact?
well, one thing I would say is something that I had to get over was don't be afraid to have a niche, because I was really nervous at first, only focusing on a specific age population. I had a lot of fear that I was alienating a massive chunk of the population. But having a niche really makes you more memorable. It makes you more attractive for the population that you do want to focus on. So don't try to be the coach for everyone. I think niche is definitely, and having a specialty. I also don't, the reason and LinkedIn and things, I will help, but I'm doing it reluctantly. Again, I don't love it. And I'm probably soon, with my business growing, will hire someone to do those things, because I do think it's important to know your career and then have, some help with getting there in terms of with the resumes and stuff. But I don't like doing that. So again, hiring out for the things that you don't want to do, and having a niche, and diversifying your with as many things as possible, and don't be afraid to do things for free or or low price when you're starting out, because you just want to get your name out there to as many people as possible.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Megan. For anyone who wants to find you or connect with you, they can either go on LinkedIn, McNamee, they can go into Instagram, or younger people, they can go into Instagram, Facebook. They can also go into your website, cleardirectionforyou.com. Is there any other way they could connect with you, or are there different names in the Instagram? Or
No, and I'm on TikTok yet. We'll see what this new summer hire will do. Hopefully, she'll bring some more young, social media savviness to my business. But yeah, not there yet.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Megan. This
You're
was wonderful.
welcome. Yes, this was great. Thank you so much.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This podcast was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to $100,000 years, $100,000 months, or even $100,000 weeks, all without burning out and making sure that you're making the impact and having the life that you want. To learn more about our community and how we can help you, visit joinpurplecircle.com.